Thanks so much for having me. So I'll get straight into it. Today I'll talk about a model that is taking the industry by storm. It's called the user needs model. And the reason why it's taking the industry by storm is because it's really allowing newsrooms all over the world to provide even more value to people, to their audiences. Very quickly about me, I'm Khalil, I'm from Mauritius. I'm sometimes mistaken for a bed from Community, which I don't mind, but with a Bridgerton accent. Posh accent, I mean, not so much. But more seriously, I'm a consultant, and I've helped media organizations in different parts of the world implement the user needs model, and you'll see some of the results here. So I have to say that when I talk about user needs, I do feel a little bit uneasy, just because the need for this model really shows us or tells us quite a lot about the state of the industry. And the state of the industry, I mean, we know this, right? Newsletters, newspapers are not doing great. News websites, are not doing great. I mean, it's not great, right? It's not great. Why is it not great? Just trying to get this to work. Why is this not great? I mean, you know, website of the year. No comment, but basically, you know what's happening, right? There is a lot of things that we do within the industry that is causing a lot of harm to people. We are consistently disconnecting people from one another, and we are consistently disconnecting ourselves from people. And we see the impact, we see the consequences of this every day. We experience this directly. We read about those things. We know those are happening, and we are part of why those are happening. I went a bit forward here, but we are doing all of those things, but the good thing is we can do something about it. And doing something about it starts with recreating connection with people. Because only when we reconnect with people can we understand people, and only when we understand people can we be valuable to people. And once we're valuable to people, we can start rebuilding the trust with people. How do we do this? So this is the user needs model. It will show up. There we go. And the user needs model came out of research from a lot of people, thousands, tens of thousands of people around the world. Research done a decade ago by the BBC. And they found that when it comes to news, people need to know what's happening. People need to understand what's happening. People need to feel something about what's happening. And people need to do something about what's happening. You will see from this model that we're going quite deep into why people consume news, right? This model is not telling journalists what it is that they can and cannot write about. It acknowledges the intuition and the experience of journalists. It is merely providing journalists with different lenses, with different ways into articles. Those are the different needs that people want to be served, and those are the different ways in which us in the media, content creators, storytellers, those are different ways in which we can tell the stories and do our journalism to better serve people. And when we apply this model to the journalism process, those are some of the articles that you get. I'm sure you'll recognize some of those articles. For example, a breaking news story that would cater to the update me need. But you also see quite a lot of other types of articles that maybe are less represented in our news coverage. Inspire me stories, connect me stories. Connect me stories are really important. They really place us in the context of the world in which we exist. Whether that's the community we're part of, the country that we're part of, humankind as a whole, the entire planet. It really helps reconnect people with one another. So this is the user needs model. And this is what happens to media organizations before they use the user needs model. So if you look at the green columns, what you're seeing is we produce a lot of update me articles, right? The green columns show a number of articles. But basically what we're seeing here is we're overproducing certain types of stories. So you're breaking news stories, what just happened. But we're really not producing a lot of some of the other types of stories. Inspire me, connect me, divert me, help me. Not that much. Now look at the green line, which is average page views per article across the different user needs. And you see the mismatch. Those stories that we're publishing quite a lot about don't get that much traffic. But those stories that we're not publishing a lot about, way more traffic. There's much more interest. The graph shows page views. You can replace page views with other metrics. For the more businessy of you, conversion metrics. How engaged people are with our journalism, all of those metrics will show you the same thing. There is a mismatch between what we're producing and what people are actually looking for. We need to bridge that gap. We need to bridge that mismatch to be able to provide more comprehensive value to people. And when we do this, this is what we get. BBC News Russia, for example, tripled its audience by publishing 60% fewer articles because they're focused on the specific needs of their audiences. The Conversation, a global organization, not-for-profit, same great results. The user needs model works for big organizations with a lot of money, like the BBC, works for non-profit organizations, like The Conversation. It also works for more niche publications, like Omroep Brabant, which is a regional publisher in the Netherlands. They're all seeing really, really good results. They're all seeing how they are being able to reconnect with their audiences by focusing on their needs. There are so many news organizations nowadays that have or are implementing user needs. Those are just a few examples. There are literally hundreds now. And they're doing it because it works. So if you're interested in this, and if you want to explore this a little bit more, we can reconnect with people with the user needs model. It does not take a genius to get started. There's a QR code on the screen. Scan it. You'll get a free how-to guide to start implementing that way of thinking within your newsrooms. You can sign up to a free email course that I wrote, which goes through every step takes you to every step of the way and really helps you reconnect with your audiences. Because what I will say is, remember that if we do not reconnect with people, people will continue to disconnect from us. And at some point, we have to ask ourselves, if everyone is disconnected from us, what is even the point of us existing in the first place? Shouldn't let that happen. The user needs model is a way to prevent that from happening, to be more valuable to people. I really encourage you to give it a go. Thank you so much.